Instacart is on a mission to have you not leave the couch this basketball season. Because between the pre-game rituals and the post-game interviews, it can be difficult to find time for everything else. So let Instacart take care of your game day snacks or weekly restocks and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because we hear it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. So download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days, excludes restaurants.
On today's Smart 7, report finds no evidence of two-tier policing, Trump runs out of patience with Ukraine, and much more. It's Tuesday, 15th of April, it's World Art Day, and happy birthday, Emma Watson.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
The government has found itself in a race against time to keep the blast furnaces running at Britain's only virgin steel plant in Scunthorpe. Saturday saw emergency legislation rush through Parliament and approved by the King, but the biggest concern was that essential supplies including both iron and coal would run out. However, government sources confirmed on Monday evening that 2 ships with supplies are now docked at Immingham Port, and Treasury Minister James Murray says no effort is being spared to keep the fires burning.
We're doing everything we can to keep the blast furnaces running, and if we hadn't done what we did, those blast furnaces would be closing now.
British Steel announced the appointment of interim managers on Monday, Alan Bell as CEO and Lisa Coulson as Chief Commercial Officer, both of whom are British Steel veterans. The appointments were welcomed by the Community Union, which represents the majority of steelworkers. Charlotte Brumpton-Childs from the GMB Union has been impressed by the sense of urgency so far.
I spoke to British Steel and was wholly reassured actually that the coke that's at Immingham Bulk Terminal will be paid for and unloaded over the next couple of days, and that government are working at pace to secure the rest of the raw materials that are currently on the ocean.
A Home Office committee has backed the way police responded to last summer's rioting and described their actions as entirely appropriate. The cross-party committee also said they found no evidence of so-called two-tier policing in the response to what was described as violence and criminality that began in Southport and spread across the country. Chair of the committee, Dame Karen Bradley, said organised disorder is rightly met with a robust response. The chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners, Emily Spurrell, says there are definitely lessons to be learnt from the findings.
The sharing of intelligence, the sharing of information, what did police forces know, what did they have access to? And I think that's where we really need to learn those lessons to make sure that information sharing is happening. It's happening quickly, so police forces know exactly what they're going to be up against.
The disturbances were sparked by the brutal murder of 3 girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class, and the violence was spurred on by posts on social media platforms. Former Police Superintendent Del Babu says it's time to take a look at the role social media played.
We're in a different era now to where we've been in the past. Now with the internet it's like the Wild West, and so the CPS and the police just need to be more fleet of foot around correcting misinformation and being very, very clear when information is being spread that they will challenge it.
Ukrainian President Zelensky has invited Donald Trump to visit his country so that the US president could see the devastation caused by Russia's latest missile strike on civilians in the town of Sumy. At least 34 people died in the ballistic missile attack on Palm Sunday. Trump initially said that he understood the strike to have been a mistake, but a Kremlin spokesman clarified the matter, saying there had been no mistake, but also that no civilians had died. At a meeting in the Oval Office with El Salvadorian President Bukele, Trump appeared to become irritated about the ongoing war in Ukraine, snapping at a reporter who asked if he would agree to sell more Patriot missiles to Zelensky.
When you start a war, you got to know that you can win the war, right? You don't start a war against somebody that's 20 times your size and then hope that people give you some missiles. Biden could have stopped it, and Zelensky could have stopped it, and Putin should have never started it. Everybody's to blame.
An Israeli airstrike on Sunday destroyed parts of the Al Ahli hospital in Gaza City. That's according to the World Health Organization, who say the hospital's laboratory was destroyed and the emergency room damaged. The IDF claimed they had hit a Hamas command center, but Margaret Harris of the WHO says they have seen attack after attack on hospitals and that medical supplies are running critically low as the blockade continues. The European Union has also called for the blockade to be lifted and for aid and food supplies to be restored, as European Crisis Commissioner Hadja Labib explained.
For over 1 month now, no aid, no a crust of bread has entered Gaza. So every day, at least 100 children get killed or injured, and more humanitarian workers are losing their lives to try to save lives.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, in association with Metro, Aston Villa gets set for European glory and Katy Perry heads to space. Right after this.
Hey, you know what would make your customer service help desk way better? Dumping it and then switching to Intercom. But you're not quite ready to make that change. We get it. That's why Finn, the world's leading AI customer service agent, is now available on every help desk. Finn can instantly resolve up to 80% of your tickets, which makes your customers happier and gets you off the customer service rep hiring treadmill. Finn by Intercom, the leading customer service AI agent, now available on every help desk.
Welcome back. There was one Premier League game on Monday night, which saw Bournemouth beat Fulham 1-0 to end a winless run. Tuesday sees the second legs of this year's Champions League quarter-finals get underway, with Aston Villa welcoming French champions PSG to Villa Park. Villa have a mountain to climb after the first leg slipped away in Paris, leaving the French side 3-1 ahead. But Aston Villa manager Unai Emery has lost only one of 13 European home games as Villa boss, and he's won 11 of them, so he was sounding confident ahead of the big game.
Our objective is to try to play with one strong plan and then try to be consistent and try to understand how is going the match in 90 minutes.
There are pretty much two views of enterprises like Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin space company. The brochure says it's a transformational experience that will change your perspective on our planet. The second is that it's an expensive tourist gimmick which sees high-paying customers popped into the edge of outer space for about 3 minutes. Monday saw an all-female crew including Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, singer Katy Perry and American TV host Gayle King take a brief trip to space. Perry used the occasion to announce the set list for her new tour and promised to write a song about the gravity of the experience.
It's about a collective energy in there. It's about making space for future women. And it's about this wonderful world that we see right out there and appreciating it. This is all for the benefit of Earth.
It's been 5 years since the pandemic hit, but we haven't really seen much in terms of TV or movies that dive into the experience of what went on when we all masked up. That's about to change, though, with a new movie called Eddington. It's from Ari Aster, the writer and director of Hereditary and Midsommar, so you can probably guess it's not going to be a rom-com. It stars Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, Austin Butler and Joaquin Phoenix in what is basically a western set during the pandemic in the rural town of Eddington, New Mexico. It hits cinemas on July 18th.
Of course, they keep looking at that lab in Wuhan, China. If you look at that lab in Wuhan when that was established, it was 1956. Of course, that was the year Tom Hanks was born, the first celebrity with the virus, Mr. Sleepless in Seattle.
If you value your life, you should think twice. Because the people of Eddington like guns.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Hey, you know what would make your customer service help desk way better? Dumping it and then switching to Intercom. But you're not quite ready to make that change. We get it. That's why Finn, the world's leading AI customer service agent, is now available on every help desk. Finn can instantly resolve up to 80% of your tickets, which makes your customers happier and gets you off the customer service rep hiring treadmill. Finn by Intercom, the leading customer service AI agent, now available on every help desk.